Hey there trainers, Alakaham here with some more Pokemon video magic, and in today's video I'm going to give a look at Ursaluna. Before I do that, I feel like I should apologize for going so long without making an upload. I have been very busy at work trying to prepare for a professional conference the past several weeks, and have played a little less Go Battle League, but I appreciate everyone's patience. I feel like I mention work a lot in my videos now, but that's just, sort of how life goes if one is not a professional YouTuber. So I'm doing my very best to try and capture some video footage. To be honest with you, my first idea for a video on Ursaluna was to just do a video full of like 10 minutes of Ursaluna fails, because I was having a very bad time with Ursaluna. You're going to see that this Cresselia is about to use a non-stab grass knot, and it does more than half of the Ursaluna's health. This thing is not all that bulky. Tackle as a fast move is like just okay. It did get a buff this season, but not enough of one for it to make Ursaluna stand out. But in this video, this is not just a video of fails, because as I was recording and losing a lot of matches, lo and behold, I went to record one more time so that I could do my fail video, and I ended up having a set where I was winning more than I was losing. So you are getting that particular video, and hopefully this will be kind of fun and entertaining for you. This was certainly fun for me to record, even though I was very frustrated with Ursaluna for several battle sets when I first started using it. So Ursaluna, not the greatest, particularly here in the Ultra League. I might do a video with my Shadow Ursaluna for the Great League later, but as of right now, of course, we've got the Ultra League running, so I'm just gonna stick with that. And what do you know? I was able to get shields with Ursaluna, and now I've been able to more or less farm down all of the other Pokemon, and in the back, my opponent has an Obstagoon, which is going to get completely destroyed by my Granbull. Yeah. So taking double super effective damage, maybe triple super effective damage from that close combat. Not great for the Obstagoons, so that was kind of lucky on my part, but hey, there are times where I will take luck over skill. So that's game one, and I'll show you what other miraculous wins I was able to get lucky enough to pull off in some of these matches. All right, so my opponent froze up a little bit there, so I stopped attacking for a second. And sometimes what this happens, if I throw a charge move, my opponent unfreezes, so I decided to throw one. My opponent did not unfreeze, they just took the Leaf Blade. And so yeah, battle number 2 was not based on skill, not based on Ursaluna doing anything great, but it was a win. So we are going to head right on into battle number 3. And all of the remaining battles are like full battles here, right? So I'm not trying to just coast by getting people to top left, right? Okay, we are taking super effective damage here, and Seed Bomb is stab, and that's a lot. Seed Bomb is not a very good move, and that did a lot of damage. So what you're going to see here is the only way I was able to make Ursaluna work is to not shield it at all, to try and grab shields by throwing a high horsepower early on, and then just hoping that with my shield advantage, I can come in and farm down whatever is on the lead with my Granbull and come out of that match with energy. I think I double shield here, preserving some health on the Granbull and just kind of expecting that I'm going to get a shield back. I should if they know the standard moveset for Granbull, but okay, they kind of call my bluff there, and I was not bluffing. I went straight for the close combat, and my opponent brings in a Heracross. Heracross is, honestly, it's a cool pick. I really like Heracross. And they are over farming a bunch, and I don't blame them. That's what I would do in their situation. But that Rock Blast is not going to be enough to take out my Sirfetch'd, so they're either going to have to shield or, yeah, so I'm going to get the last shield. And I got another boost, which is great. But my opponent had a move loaded. If this is Mega Horn, okay, it's not. It was just another Rock Blast, and so I was able to farm down. That one was tricky because, of course, Granbull is super effective against fighting types like Heracross, but I ended up switch-locking myself with the Sirfetch'd. Not a great situation to be in, but fortunately, my opponent did not build up past the Rock Blast, so that worked out okay. All right, match number 4. My opponent has a Sylveon up front. I'm going to go ahead and stay in this matchup and throw the high horsepower just like I have been doing in the other matches. My opponent does shield, and I was a little worried they were going to farm me down, but looks like they are not. They throw the Psyshock, and that's fine. So now I can come in with the Granbull, and hopefully we'll farm all the way down and have some energy left over here. And unfortunately, I wasn't quite able to charm down the Sylveon before they got to another Psyshock. And my opponent brings in a Charizard. So that's not great because it's going to resist the charms, but it's not terrible because I do get that last shield. Unfortunately, they are going to farm me down, and depending on what they throw here, Sirfetch'd may have a very difficult time. So I figure I have to call their bluff, and unfortunately it is the Blast Burn. So they had a lot of energy. Basically my only chance was to call that they were going to do a Dragon Claw, and my opponent rightfully recognized that if they just went for double Blast Burn that they would be fine. So yeah, not able to pull that one off, unfortunately, but that's all right. Okay, so here we have Ursaluna into Scissor. And this one's a little more tricky because Scissor reaches moves a lot faster than some of the other Pokemon I've been seeing on the lead. And this time I did not go for the high horsepower, which was a bad idea in general. Fortunately, my opponent was afraid of the high horsepower and went ahead and shielded the Thunder Punch. And I almost got to another one. That would have been great, but didn't quite get there. I think I call the Night Slash here, and it was an X-Scissor. So now I know that this opponent is not running any moves that are going to be particularly threatening to Sirfetch'd. Unfortunately, Sirfetch'd is kind of glassy, but that's all right. And my opponent brings in a Feraligatr, which makes me think, oh, they do not have a good answer to Sirfetch'd because they're going to have to deal with that Leaf Blade. And so I bring in the Granbull. Usually this would be a very bad situation because Melmetal hardwalls Charmers, but I have access to close combat, and fortunately I was able to get there before my opponent threw their next move. So I don't have to use that other shield, and that is going to make a huge difference here because I can keep charming away at the Feraligatr. And Feraligatr is also a very cool pick, by the way. I figured that I should just shield and try to reach a move with Granbull because I was more or less going to get Waterfall down if I stayed in with the Sirfetch'd, and that would not have been ideal. So I was very, very lucky, as I said, to get some wins with Ursaluna. I don't think all that much of those games had to do with skill. There was a lot of of close calls, and Ursaluna did not do a lot to help the team, but I was able to get some fun wins. Thanks for sticking with me. Talk to you next time.